Adversity? Bring it. The struggle? We welcome it. Snooze on life? Never that. We are Dave Regina and Mike Pirelli, and this is the No Snooze Podcast. Come on.
Welcome back, No Snooze Podcast 61, here with my fearless co-host, David the Beard Regina. I'm Mike Pirelli. Claudio on the ones and twos in the background. Justin, intern of the year, 1 of 1. He better win.
It's his. What did
his
you say?
To lose.
It's his to lose. 1 of 1. I like that.
What do you think when people say that? Like, oh, you're my favorite son, and there's
and
only
you're the
one
only
son?
one? Yeah.
It's a cop-out.
That is a cop-out.
And I'll go on the record. I think I've said it before. I'm definitely the favorite. 100% the favorite out of the two of us.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I'm the favorite for anybody.
No?
No.
You're my favorite co-host.
That's my guy.
See
That's
what I
my
did there?
guy. But I'm the only one. I see what you did.
So today, first off, subscribe. I haven't seen the subscribe button move once, and I see views. We're getting a lot of views.
Yes.
So what the hell are you guys doing?
They're lurkers.
Lurkers. Yeah, you're the
That's
type
all right.
that go through and don't drop any
Well,
love.
I will say though, I never had a YouTube account. So if you don't have an account and you just go and you just view it, right?
You're right.
That would
It's
work
fair.
against us.
It's fair.
Because you have to have an account to be a subscriber. So if you really want to go the extra mile to support the No Snooze podcast, create an account on YouTube and subscribe.
And maybe we're just not providing
Mike will
enough
send
value
you a
in there.
photo.
I'll send you a photo. You'll get the ad for it. Dana got up early today, and I told her, I go, you know what your reward is? You're going to see 6-pack abs.
There we go.
You know, I got to do it for you. I got
There we go.
give you a little view. But anyway, so today we're going to be jumping around as always. Look down below for the I don't even know the bar. It'll
Chapters?
be chopped up. You can hop around.
Chapters?
Timestamps they call them, but
Okay.
chapters work.
Stampies?
What are we, a book? We got 10
I
pages
don't know.
today or what? I saw that was a bad. Have you been keeping up with the 10 pages?
Yes.
And just not posting?
Yeah.
I think people think that if we don't post it, it doesn't exist.
You're not doing it?
Yeah.
Well, you can't just post that. So my personal thing, right? I can't just post everything that I do. One, it'll be the most monotonous thing that people have
Well,
ever
just
seen.
get Justin to follow you every
But I
day.
just chug my 50 ounces of water every morning.
Well, that's kind of what I do.
Workout. I mean, usually we do the workout.
Yeah,
right?
no, I think we're doing it right. I think if anything, we're at a good cadence of it.
Yeah. But also for reading, for me, that's just something that's been ingrained.
What are you reading?
Right now, I am reading Daring Greatly, which is a phenomenal book on vulnerability.
It sounds like someone's name, Daring Greatly.
Oh,
It does.
it does. That definitely does. It is a good book. I wish I could tell you the author.
No idea.
I don't
That's
know
fine.
right now. I've told CV that I'll get him the book, and it's like a 300-page book. So I said, CV, it could be yours in 30 days.
Yeah. It's going to take a while.
You know, but yeah, man, I get through them. But it's just a habit that's been built in, and I enjoy it.
Any new habits?
No.
Okay. Listen.
Oh
that's
well, that will take us to the Podbot update.
fair. Listen, let's roll right into it.
I have taken up rowing. No, I'm lying.
So if you don't follow the podcast, this is the first time you're watching, which we've had a lot of new viewers, so shout out. We have been trying to get down. Well, some of us have been trying. Some have gotten down to 10% body fat. Dave actually got to 8.6.
Yep.
8.4 unofficial.
No, that was
8.4 unofficial.
Yep.
And now we're continuing the process. I know I'm going to try again, so this week I'm going to jump in. But
Yeah.
So rowing, huh?
So Podbot update, yeah. I am not taking up rowing. That was a lie. But I thought I'd throw you off, but you weren't even.
I was thinking about it. Like, you might be a good swimmer because your back is wide, so you can kind of like skate on the top of the water.
I was a decent swimmer back in when camp days.
Yeah.
But then I haven't swam in years. I don't know.
But for rowing,
Probably not.
I feel like you're literally a sail.
So you
Like,
think I'll just
or
sink?
the boat will be angled so far up that you'll just kind of drag. You ever
Yep.
see Shallow Hal? You're not a movie guy.
I've never seen
You know
it.
at the end when he's sitting in the boat and he's lifted off the ground? Yeah.
I'm so glad somebody else could get the
Thank
reference
you.
because I
I'm
can't
just
hang
gonna- I'm
with
not
that.
going to look at you. I'm going to look at them.
So you know how work it. Well, you have a stand-up desk, which is big, but like for me, and we'll talk about it in like the work update. It's been like grant season, right? I'm writing a lot of grants. I have to sit down, focus.
You're giving out money?
No.
Isn't
I'm
that what
trying-
grants are?
Yeah, I'm trying to get money.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like,
no,
send them-
I'm applying for the grants, right?
Okay.
But so I had to start. My lower back has been killing me, and this is like a seasonal thing because if I do get up, walk around, it's okay. But like just the hunched over motion, being on the computer all day, it doesn't help. So I started implementing stretching. Right, like I either use the Peloton app or I just stretch for like 5 to 10 minutes after. But it's something that I'm going to start doing as a habit every day.
That's something I never could get.
Dude, it's so
forever.
hard.
Why?
It's so hard.
Why
I don't
is it
know.
so hard?
I don't know because it's something you don't want to do. Right, like
guess.
it's monotonous. But for me, I know consistency, and I think we'll throw a little building consistency. Maybe CV had some questions there for the episode as well, on top of the patience. But it's just something that, I think as we get older, I need to do. Do you know what your psoas muscle is?
My what?
Psoas?
Psoas?
I will give you $100 if you can spell psoas correct. Literally $100 right now.
T?
Wrong.
Well, what I was thinking? General So's.
Yeah. So it starts
Right?
with,
That's pretty good.
It's actually the first letter is P, which is
Like pterodactyl.
Crazy.
Pterodactyl.
crazy.
PT.
Yes. There you go. But anyway, your psoas muscle, as you get older, it just, contracts. So you have to be able to open it up. The only way to do that, obviously, in the hip flexors and stretching. So I've been trying to do that. I had a big Pelly ride yesterday.
I saw that. I'm just going to comment. This is kind of like a behind-the-scenes thing. I'm loving the pace today. I don't know if you've had a lot of cups of coffee, but I've had a couple caffeines.
We spoke about the pace a couple episodes
I
ago,
love the
too.
fast
I
pace.
like it back and forth too. But I had a historic Pelly ride, Michael. Historic.
Were
meaning
there new
for me,
shoes? Did you get the new shoes?
No. Those are fire, by the way.
So
Shout out Philly Cat. And they just had a daughter. Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful baby girl. MJ, right?
MJ.
Beautiful name, right?
It's
like Dave Regina, just MJ.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. DR.
But no, I'm just kidding. PR. Like that was my personal best on the Peloton. 20 minutes, right? This is why I love the Peloton. One, because I'm a beast, but two, because it is the most efficient thing in the world. So I did a 20-minute ride, and I have my stats here, right? But it was a balls to the wall ride with Alex Toussaint. There's a Team Activate versus Team Validate, right? And it was like a competition that they were building up. So it was a 20-minute ride. I had a 467 output. People who are not Pelly riders don't know what that is. 697 calories burned in 20 minutes. 9.06 miles in 20 minutes. My leaderboard name is @DaveRegina if anybody wants to come compete, right? And I throw this friendly competition out there, not because I'm the best in the world, but I just don't know anybody that's beating me.
You might be.
I put it out there. I put it on Instagram multiple times now for rides that, if people beat me, I say, send me the proof, and I'll send you anything you want from NoSnoozeShop.com.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to hold that bet. Today is April. When does this episode air?
No idea what the date is.
Monday the. I don't know. I'll run it to
19.
So it's the 19th. I'll run it for a week and a half until the beginning of May.
Well,
so
just
if anybody
keep running it until
no, because look, somebody's gonna beat it. Right now, I am currently 103rd out of 40,552 riders, but that grows every day because people can take it as.
So
much
we
as
have
they want.
102 people. I get a call.
Yeah, but I just don't. I don't know them.
It's impressive. I would love to see someone comment and start talking a little junk.
Right.
And actually, because think about it, you're doing this without the competition. Obviously, you're competing, but you don't have a direct competitor.
Yeah, and I don't train for it.
Well,
right?
I think you would rise to the occasion when given the opportunity to go after the 100th ranked person. If you're within striking distance, I think you got a shot.
Some of them double my output, and that's
How?
where I'm like, I don't know
sense.
if that's legit because I'm literally riding. I don't follow the class. I listen to the music.
Which is hilarious. So why even do the class?
No. This is if I want to compete, right?
Got
If I'm going strictly on the leaderboard,
yeah.
I don't follow the class. I don't work with the cadence and the resistance. I crank it to 100 and I go.
Do you look at any of the people ranked?
Yeah, and I just drive by them. That's all I do. I look at them. I'm like, bye.
Yeah, that's like going to like a casual ride with people, and then you just see one dude just take off.
Yeah, no. So, but sometimes I do like to enjoy the Peloton ride.
Yeah.
Right?
I see your motions.
Yeah, so I just follow it. It's fire. I weighed in today.
Okay.
I was a little nervous because I'm like, the past 2 weeks after I achieved the goal, got down to 8.6. I was like, you know what? Now I can take my foot off the gas in terms of the extra stuff that I was doing. All the habits remain the same.
And it was off the cuff. Like you usually are very, like I'm going to weigh in this day. I'm going to weigh in that. And you just shot a text us. You're like, should I weigh in?
Well, why not?
Yeah.
Because
Which I'm like, yeah.
It's an accountability thing for me, right?
Yep.
Like if I were to weigh in and be like 12%, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Right? But at the same time, I have to be realistic.
Take it easy, right? 12% is nothing to stop.
Take
it easy,
That
right?
was not a dig.
I'm at 14.
But I started at, that was not a dig at you. That sounded rude. But
take it easy.
I started at 13.8. So like if after this challenge in 2 weeks, I went all the way back up to 13.8, that would have been terrible for me, right?
It is a question of like when you roll a ball up a hill,
Yep.
if you stop, it goes all the way to the bottom.
So I made a conscious effort to stop the extra stuff that I was doing. The second round of cardio every day for 30 to 45 minutes.
Yep.
I happen to incorporate 2 to 5 Oreos a night.
Such a funny range, like 2
You know,
to 5.
Depending on how I'm feeling.
If I'm getting over 4, the whole bag's gone.
Ooh.
If I get into that cadence,
Yep.
then I'm
It's
putting
tough.
up numbers. My
So,
output on the Oreo game.
I'm curious to know, like, what would be your honest guess? If I told you,
I need to know what you ate.
Well, right off the bat, I went from 227 pounds to 232 pounds.
All right, so if you do the math, that's 5. The ratio is going to move by, I would say you added 1 to 2%.
Very good guess.
Just by math.
I was going to be upset with myself if I was over 10%.
Yeah.
Right?
But
So
you're at 8.6, so you should be good.
So I'm 9.6.
Yep.
Right?
That
So
makes
I
sense.
came in still under 10, which
That's
is
awesome.
good. Yeah. And in 2 weeks, I gained 1%, which I know the damage that could be done. But when we were at your house after Epi 60, great episode, by the way, crushed, I think, 4 or 5 slices with you.
Yeah.
Then I shot to Carvel, and I sent you the picture of what I ate at Carvel.
You know what you did, right?
Oh, yeah. I sparked
Dana ended up going. She got me a dasher. You ever see the calories in a dasher?
I looked. It was like 2,000, right?
Easy. That's without the add-ons.
I think one day we should do the 10,000 calories.
That would
easy.
be the easiest
That
thing
is
of all
easy.
time.
I
I've
agree.
done it casually. But
Yeah.
just not even thinking
Yeah.
like, oh, that's 10,000
Yep.
calories.
And then even if I didn't want to eat that terrible, and at the end of the night I wanted to have a big porterhouse, just 2,000 calories right there.
Yeah, you could do it just by meats, I think.
Yeah, well, that would be terrible the next day.
That would be pretty bad.
Podbot update. How you look good. You look good. That's
listen-
one thing about you, though. You always look good.
Thank
I just
you,
don't
thank
know, are you...
Internally, are you helping?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
So the, I took a little break. I was trying to get back onto target last week. I was unsuccessful. And I said, well, this week I actually have to weigh in no matter what. I'll get a new starting point, a new kind of calibrated start, and then I will make a push again. So the big change, which I have to thank you guys because you guys, I think, were a part of it, is Dana is starting to do the Blue Apron and cooking 2 times a week minimum and even pushing for 3. So that has made our nights a little easier to manage because I've been prepping to leave 1,000 calories for her meal because they come in and they're anywhere from like, I don't know, 600 to 1,000, depending on what she gets. My only request to her is protein forward meals, and I'll adjust depending on what you make.
Gotcha.
So I'll look what her calories are. I'll make sure that's in there. And I'm not restricting as much calories. I'm actually going higher and doing more protein and trying to just lift more. So I'm doing a little adjustment. I'm trying to increase the calories to give myself more flexibility.
And be honest about the increased calories trying to fit into the new
Yeah. I'm
no
trying to
snooze shirts that are available now.
That's the biggest pod bot out there.
You know
I
what
got
I'm saying?
4 tees, and my issue with T-shirts is that they're always too short. This one actually fits perfectly, but now I got to make sure I don't shrink them.
But you bought a large.
I bought 4 large. I'm a large.
I don't know about that because your size alone makes you an extra large.
Height, I'm an XL. Body, I'm only a large. So
Okay.
I got to fill this baby out. And I actually had a
Was
client.
it loose? Did it feel loose?
You know what? I'm kind of like hilly, because my
Okay.
chest is nice and big.
Okay.
But my shoulders are my weakest point at the moment. And I've been doing a lot of research in the past. Shoulders apparently are the number one thing to change your look drastically. So I'm you know what I did? I'm doing 3 shoulder workouts a week, and I'm and then I'm incorporating everything else in between. But shoulders workouts are first,
Okay.
and then I'm doing everything off of that.
So compound movement,
Compact like presses,
Right.
Arnold
Yep,
presses.
yep.
I incorporate those are hard.
terrible. I
I've been
know.
doing 12, 10, 8, 6, 4. So
Okay.
different workout.
Yep.
Pyramid, which it's difficult, but I'm getting stronger. And like I can tell I'm getting stronger by just pulling the weights out of the rack. Like I used to struggle to do the like 90 each.
Yeah, like Justin was struggling when he was pulling the
exactly. But it's been good. I'm optimistic. I joke around and I say it's arms day every day until I fill out these shirts. So I might have to do like progress pics and be like, stop arms day.
Wait, aren't the shirts sleeveless?
Yeah, they're called the no sleeve.
So how are you filling a sleeveless shirt?
Filling out because what you
Well,
see is the arms. So I'm
yeah.
saying I got to fill them out better.
But
you know what I'm saying?
That's terrible. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I was skinny back in the day, when we used to go play ball or something, and we would wear the cutoffs, and then there was these guys that fill out the cutoff shirts.
Yeah.
But then like if your shoulder isn't big enough, it like hangs over. Like
So that
upsets me.
So that used to be the look. The cut on the nosnoozeshop.com. Go check it out. is right at the shoulder line where I like it.
Okay.
I don't like them too far.
I used to do
remember
the
that
trap
was
god.
Yeah, that used to
you
be
know.
like the fad, but then like side boob would
Yes,
be showing,
yes.
which I have a nice side boob, but to be honest, I think that's a good look because it's like, you ever see Shameless? You know the guy?
Frank. I know Frank. And
No,
Shameless.
Frank is Chris
Oh,
Alba,
damn.
the big dude.
Oh, yes.
And he always
yes.
wears cutoffs?
Yes.
And
And you
his
can
arms are
still tell
huge.
he's big, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's like what I'm going for.
Okay.
Well, Kevin.
So you're
Kevin's
moving
his
from
name.
long and lean to strong and mean.
No, I want to be long and strong and mean, yes. I want to be long and lean, but I also want to have very defined arms, so there's no question.
If
I
I'm
don't-
brolic or not.
No,
You
no,
just look
I-
at me.
I've never had super defined arms, and when I did at one point in my life, I was thin. So I'm like, what would it
Yep.
look like? Basically, I want to look good enough to sell more tees, and then also look good in a suit, which
Right.
is a hard
It
combo,
is a tough task.
right?
Yep.
Like, because you look good in a suit, but you also look good without a shirt.
Yeah, but my arms are my weak points, right? Like I have good
You
shoulders.
think your arms are your weak points.
No, my arms are my weak points.
Is it because your chest and back are so massive?
I don't. It's actually my shoulders. I think that are the biggest. Like my appearance, I think is because of my shoulders, right?
Yes.
Like my traps,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, because you can't hide that.
Right. So like if you know,
You're a tailor's worst nightmare.
I am actually like you know who's really bad
Do
though?
they kick you out? You walk into a
But he's
shop and they're
good.
like, no.
No, my guy Adele, Italian guy, an
Okay.
Italian
Adele.
Italian tailor too. He's in White Plains, so shout out Adele. But he sizes me up beautiful. I walked in the very first time. I'm like, you know, what size am I? He's like, most guys would hate doing this, but he literally called me out and was spot on.
See, like we talked about before with the Johnny High Hoppers I got
Yep.
on right now,
I got
I
them
need
too,
to
though.
find a reliable tailor. But my issue is that I've been a moving target for people.
Right,
Because
right.
I've been fluctuating anywhere between 260 and 190.
What?
That's
It's a little bit of a
huge
fluctuation
range.
there, kid.
Yeah, so and I float in there.
Yeah.
But, the belt has not moved. I
Yep.
add a notch.
Nice.
So I think I'm going to commit to getting all new belts. We talked about this. So progress is there.
Yep.
And my habits of working out, I've never enjoyed lifting more than I have right now.
Good.
And I'm going to keep incorporating new equipment. So like the next one that I want is the adjustable curl bar.
Okay.
Because then I could do some flat
Yep.
bar workouts because I've been doing just dumbbell.
Got you. But dumbbells are always great. It sets a great foundation because it's both left and right. You can tell what side is stronger, and you can work on the weak points.
And I didn't realize, but I'm like, oh, my left forearm is killing me, right? Like this certain muscle right here
Yep.
from after working out. And I'm like, why is that? It's holding living.
There you
You
go.
don't even think about it.
Yep. I notice it in my back.
Yeah, because of the angle.
Yes. I'm like, tilted
Well,
to
you
one
have
side.
to hold her out farther because you have more mass.
You're
where I'm
stupid.
like into the core, you know?
All right. So the only thing that I was going to say, and this is what got me started on it this morning, right? I know the feeling of like, damn, I didn't want to weigh in, and I need to know where you're at.
Me too.
I have to.
But so
So next week, will you come with an update?
Here's my question. Absolutely. My question is, should I keep doing every week or
No.
should I try every month?
I don't think so.
But you know how I am. I would do every day if I could.
Right, if you
I
could,
like
yeah.
data.
It depends what the goal is, right? Like if you're
The
committing
goal is
the,
to be a model, David.
if you're committing to 10%, I would say 1 to 2 weeks. Yeah, you have to.
And then the question is, like, do I commit to a timeline again? Because that
I don't
really
know.
stressed me out.
I don't know. I almost want to get ballsy because I'm going on a vacation in
Yeah, you want to put yourself in,
in
a corner.
August. I'm talking backwards
hat.
hat, tactical baby gear on the chest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
I
about?
hear- And you're going to PR?
Yeah, we're going to Puerto Rico, right? And I want to commit to the 10%, but
hard.
like it's a tough time too. Like
That's what I'm
I don't
thinking. We'll talk about it, but there's a lot.
if someone challenges me, I'll do it.
I'll challenge you to. No, I'm
Done.
just kidding. I get you.
You know? I don't know.
I have to say though, my most efficient. This might be a ballsy comment, but the most efficient I've ever been and productive was when I was stressed out of my mind with this challenge and a busy schedule.
Yes.
Because there's no flexibility,
Yep.
which makes you just knock things out.
Yep.
Whereas I find that like weeks where it's a little slower, I get a little lackadaisical with at least my workouts.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's been, and I mean,
Will
we'll
with
go,
the baby,
we'll
too,
go
obviously.
work update too. But before we do that,
Yeah.
I want to hear from you, my brother. CV.
Are we committing to
With-
something?
Well, no, with a quick roll of the eyes, he does. But as an accountability thing, he needs to provide his updates.
Can I give him a nickname? The Walk Prince.
Oh, I
'Cause
thought
I'm the king.
Okay, and I don't know. He might now be the official punter of the No Snooze
Oh,
podcast
Jesus.
because it used to be you. And if somebody actually, and I told you this, they busted his chops. They said I'm going to need CV to stop coming in and punting.
Wow.
And I told him about that.
Stevie, I've been there. I'll talk you through
I
it.
talked you through it. CV, talk to us, my brother.
So officially, we're not punting.
Okay, yes, let's
yeah.
go.
There is improvement. However, it is minute.
Okay.
1 pound came off.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, progress
pound
is
party, baby.
Progress
But
is progress.
the better progress is that I have been walking consistently every
That's
day
what I'm talking about.
for since.
Yep.
Since
But
I
now
did.
are
Well,
you-
I did take the vaccine, and that kind of knocked me out for like 3-4 days.
By the way, you see what's going on with
Yeah, guess who got that one?
the J&J.
Yeah,
Daddy.
Guess
two-
who else
I
got
just
that
call
one?
myself daddy like you.
The two of you guys got it though. I was worried. I'm like,
Dude,
they're
you
trying
might-
to take
it
out the
might
No
just
Snooze
be you.
crew. They're trying to take out the No Snooze crew.
50%.
You're going to
of us
see
out.
Dave with his phone just doing the podcast.
Me and Justin.
Sorry, CD. Go. What were you saying?
I don't know. That was it. I mean, I've been walking every day. That's been good. And I've been walking uncomfortably at the time.
diet?
Give me details
That's the
on
part that's
walking,
not
though.
really connecting. I mean,
And
fine.
I have been trying to
That's
be
fine.
mindful to eat more salads, less crap. But I'm not gonna lie, crap does come around my way, and when it comes around my way, I'm a gentleman. You know, I eat it. You know,
Listen.
I'm a gentleman. I love that.
Listen.
Wait, let me say that. So the walking, like, I think that's the first step, though. Because how about that?
But he can. Oh, that's
The first step. I think that's the first step, though, because when I got back on track, I just worried about like getting the output.
Yep.
And then I was like, wow, I'm crushing this stuff. Imagine if I ate well.
Right. That's the point. Like
But
before
that,
you were
gotta
eating
get that
well,
habit
but
down,
you
like,
weren't.
the walking habit.
Right.
is
He was doing the
phenomenal.
reverse. He was eating well.
Yeah, which I think is the wrong way to do it.
I agree. I think obviously the best part is pairing the two together because then when you'll really see the results, right?
you know what I've noticed when I start walking, when I start putting some kind of output, whatever that is, I do notice that I'm, I guess, more hungry, more wanting to eat.
Yep.
Where I know that's normal, but it's not like I'm doing a crazy amount of output that my body should be desperate for more.
Right.
But it just I notice it.
Yeah.
Whereas when I'm not walking, I'm that much more conscious to not put anything extra in,
Which
because
is-
obviously I know I'm not moving. You know.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I love that. What? How many steps are we? Are you targeting steps? What's your game plan? Time?
No, both. 10,000 a day.
Love it.
I do get my morning 2 miles in. I try to do it at a high pace. I try to make my 15-minute miles. So I'm not, some days are good. Some days I'm there. Some days I'm like on the, lower end of the 16s. But I'm pushing and I feel it. It does hurt. So,
Nice. That's great.
See, I think
and all outdoor, baby. Thank God for the weather.
That's awesome. The something that I think we'll discuss in depth a little bit more as we go on with the podcast, but it's consistency is the key over intensity, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you want to build consistency, the most important thing is just doing the actual action over and over and over again. It's more important than going out and just bust. It's great if you're doing both, right? But even on days, my point is to people that when you get up and you don't want to do something, if you just go through the motions anyway, it's more important, like the compound interest, like right component to the whatever we talk about all the time. You just doing something, even if it's half-assed on one day, is so much more beneficial than you not doing it,
I agree.
right?
You know what else? I mean, going with this consistency thing. So when I started walking some time back, and I was doing very consistent every day, month. I think I got almost 2 years straight of being consistent, and then I kind of got hurt. And that's the one thing that has always dawned on me when I'm out walking, when I'm out pushing, is don't get hurt,
Am I
don't
gonna
get
get
hurt,
hurt? Yeah.
right? And and sometimes because I am pushing, I'll feel a tweak here, I'll feel a tweak there. The last time I stopped walking was because my foot started hurting, and to the point where it was so uncomfortable that I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't even breaking a sweat because yes, I was out there going through the motions, but it was so slow. It might as well have just been home. I don't know, laying down. So that's the one thing that always I want to walk every day without the fear of getting hurt.
Well, you need to lean on data for that, right? Because you need to be like, if I'm going to get 10, it doesn't matter if I get to 10, it takes me an hour, or if I get to 10, it takes me 30 minutes,
Yep.
as long as I hit that mark.
Right.
Because then you wouldn't feel like, oh, I really didn't work out today. You know
That's a
what I mean?
good point.
Right. But I mean, I want to be able to. I don't want to just go to walk just to go walk, which is good. I get it's
Which
good.
I mean,
But I want to sweat. I want to make sure that it's
Okay.
for something. That's why
Yeah.
I do push it to have a decent pace, so that it is hopefully gonna do something. Hopefully.
no, I
I
agree.
have so much respect for people who can, and I'll give you an example as to why, but for people who can just do something every single day, no matter what it is, whether it's,
Tough.
Working out or reading your book or, just going and doing a task that you put in your head, you have to do it every single day. There's this dude on my block that hauls ass, and all he does is walk. But he's in great shape.
Love him.
Right? He's in great shape, and he walks every single day to the point that I know like when I leave, I expect to see him. I beep the horn, and it's rain or shine though. And the amount of respect I have for this man, couldn't tell you his name. I don't know him. But the amount of respect that I have for this man is wild because I know that whatever he does in his life, he's successful because the habit that he's able to be consistent with is his walking, which I see. But I know there's other things in his life that translates to.
Or maybe he's just spending all his time walking. He's never doing anything.
he could. But dude, I'm telling you, the action. He looks goofy. I'm not gonna lie. Like he caught my attention.
Who doesn't when you power
because
walk,
he looks goofy. But like he's got the whole swing of the arm. But it's just so commendable for me to see. And I don't know. I appreciate that.
CV, I love it. A little trick that I don't know if Dave will agree with is I started to remove like one thing at a time in the diet. So I'd be like, all right, this week I'm cutting out X. And
no, I like that. When you're trying, I like
down,
that. I do like that.
Because I feel like when you do it all at once, your body goes into like shock, and you're like, oh my God, I get no sugar, none of this. So like I remember doing like, all right, well, if I have 2 slices of bread for breakfast, this week I'm just going to do 1.
Yes.
Right. And then I was like, all right, I go from 1 piece of bread to a tortilla, or I tried to like phase out of it. But at the end of the day, if your output's good and you're eating decent and the habits are getting in place, then it gets easier to tweak things.
Yep. No, I like that when you originally said that. I remember it was on a podcast.
The crappy part about this whole thing is not. I mean, that's a great idea, and I think we all at some point or another incorporate things in our lives to make change or whatever. But I think being consistent is what's tough because you can make those changes and that change will last for a month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe even more. Yeah. But eventually, for some, that consistency piece comes in. Something gets messed around, life changes, things are not available, whatever it is, and you get out of that consistent routine. And I do agree with what you're saying that consistency is by far the most commendable thing out there. But it is tough. It's so tough to day in and day out without stopping. To continue doing the one thing that is so uncomfortable.
So it sounds like you're pretty logical with it, too. The other thing is like correlating a food item with steps. So I would be like, this pizza is going to cost me this many steps. And then all of a sudden I was like, I don't think it's worth it.
Do you
I think I walk enough to have lettuce.
Do you want to hear a fact?
Pizza,
Mike,
I'm saying.
This will blow your mind on that same point. Somebody told me, I love it. Somebody told me this when I was literally in grammar school. 1 M&M, to burn off 1 M&M, you have to walk the length of a football field for 1 M&M.
Even if that's not true, that's such a funny visual.
But,
like, all right, I got 5 M&Ms. Crap.
But it's
good.
It makes you think, like, I'm not eating a pack of M&Ms. But that's crazy.
I found myself late at night being like, ooh, I really want, like, a cookie. And then I look at, like, Fig Newtons. I love Fig Newtons.
You're a figgy guy.
200 calories in a pack.
One?
In a pack.
A pack?
You know how many steps
that is? How many are in a pack?
2.
You know my dad, he's growing a fig tree.
I love it. I'm going to go steal them. But when
getting a little Goomba in his old age.
Pizza, remember, even if it's pizza and calories, and then you know like how long it takes to burn those calories, just knowing it kind of ruins certain foods for you.
Yep.
But just knowing that makes me less likely because like you said, I'm like, I don't want to waste. I got up at 5 in the morning.
Let me tell you how in depth I go into this whole thing. It's not. I do go into this. I've cut out 95 to almost 100% of candies, of soda, and I'm not talking about in the last month or the last year. I'm talking about probably 5+ years. Does every now and then do I? Yes.
Swedish fish in your office,
but not mine. I have not even touched one.
There's alternatives
not even one.
too. They're amazing. The
but
alternatives.
Hold on.
Good.
Oh really?
So
Swedish fish
I
ones.
know where I fall. My biggest problem is not the cookies or the candies or the sodas. Soda was a big one because I'm addicted to soda.
Yeah.
So I cut that out, and I've been off it at least 2 years now, and I will go through withdrawals. But I've noticed that I am a carb loader. I love carbs.
Claudio,
you put pasta in front of me, and I cannot stop.
That's good that you know that though, because like but how do
you stop it?
My weakness is cookies.
All those things are my weaknesses. I've just chosen to get them out. But the carbs get in front of me, and I'm like, oh, my God. And I'll carb load. I'll be, there'll be pasta? Good, pasta. Oh, rice too? Oh, bring it on. Potatoes? Oh, why not? And and then there's like a little piece of fish on the side.
Yeah. I guess for that stuff, it's like it, so you got to try to like, all right, well, if I love rice, then I need to, even if I usually have rice 5 nights a week, make it 3, So you still have it. So you don't feel like you can have it.
Mm-hmm. I cut that out all week, but then of course the weekend comes,
that's the
and
problem,
I make up
because
for the 5 days I missed.
You're not getting your hit of it. So like it's like when people wane off drugs. Like you need to slowly get.
Remember
them
when
off.
we did that when we weaned off?
Drugs? I'm still on pre-workout. So
drugs.
drugs. But no, I think I think this with everything. If you extend the timeline out, you're nicer to yourself, and you can look back and be like, all right, well, I don't eat candy or soda anymore. Like for me, the competition, I don't really have anything without protein in it anymore. Like even if I cheat, I'm like, all right, let me throw some protein into something, which I think has helped me maintain a little bit. Because in the past, I'd be like, you know what, F it, I'm going to get, all this cheese fries. And so now I have fries and stuff, but I also have a 60-gram protein burger that is all you know what I mean? So I like try to
That's good. I like that. Can we move to a little work update?
Yeah, I'm sick of talking about our bodies.
Yeah, me too. I feel like I'm getting skinny over here just thinking about this.
Skinny.
Might be.
That's not a bad thing, though, getting skinny.
Justice said, what's wrong with being skinny?
I found a picture of a guy I want to look like.
Who is it?
I'll send it to CB.
Oh, yeah, I want to see. And then you put it up on the screen?
I sent it to a couple people, and they're like, why?
I'm jealous. You don't send CV and I any of these pictures.
Because
you flex in pictures, you send it to people.
I sent it to you.
Because you make it.
You'll make me commit to it. So I have to flesh it out elsewhere, and then I come with more.
So I guess now I'm offended because you both have pictures. I haven't gotten any pictures.
We sent. I
what do you mean?
You
we sent it in the group
chat.
Yeah, we did the
one.
one.
I give you a little taste.
I don't want pictures of men coming through my phone. Thank you.
I'm very impressed.
I'll send you one every morning.
Your photo.
Thank you. Keep your shirt on.
I got good lighting.
Just
if you ever want a progress
quote,
pic,
and then that should be instead of the logo,
good
it should just be your background photo of your body in the background with the quote.
Good lighting.
That would be so good. So anyway, going through this whole process, right? Even with the diet stuff, like just being a new parent, 9-10 months in, I've been speaking on like the toughness for me at work, right? Like, and we'll talk about patience again, but like I was so impatient with so many things, which I do think is actually an asset of mine, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because it's a double-edged sword, as we'll discuss. But there was deadlines for me for these grants that I was talking about, right? So it's finally come to fruition, and there's been big projects that like we've been working on. So it's been an extremely overwhelming time. Blah blah blah. We're down a commissioner, so that's why like things have fallen our laps a little bit more. But you would get a kick out of what I've been overseeing, and I'm overseeing an entire renovation of one of the park pavilions.
Sick.
The roofing, but I had to write all the grants for this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because we had to receive money for from the state to then do these projects. But I'm the one that has to like present all the information, get the quotes. Speak with the contractors, the engineers.
That's invaluable.
It's good because that's kind of like how I get things done in my own life, right? It's through relationships.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about constructing a pavilion, renovating bathrooms, COVID mitigation systems with our HVAC is a huge project that we're trying to work on now because we traffic about 700 a day in one of the facilities pre-COVID. I had to go get an estimate on, first of all, I need an evaluation and an assessment done on how the actual airflow is in the building.
I have a prediction.
Uh-oh.
I don't mean to cut you off.
Uh-oh.
I think you're going to end up within the real estate world, within government, managing properties or like building out infrastructure. It's my guess.
I don't know.
I think so.
See, I love what I do.
Because you're organized, you're task-oriented, you know how to manage people, which is the ideal person to manage something like that because you have the local relationships, you have the respect, you've been in the other seat where you can get things done, grants. I think they're going to see you do projects like this and be like, we need to get them in a
That's funny because I do sit on a community development board, right, within the town, and we discuss these things. I just don't know if that'd be my
if you'd want to do it.
Because my job now, I get to interact with people, which I love. Like I get to literally, if there's a program with the kids, I can go in there. I can
ready for this. You want me to paint you a picture?
You
do the big project for the park. Then on opening day, here's David Regina to say a few words about the project he did and the heart and soul they put into it. Come on.
I like that. Backwards hat,
back to here.
Tactical baby.
But do you see that potentially?
I could see that. I could see because I'm gaining knowledge.
And you love real estate.
I love real estate.
And you could use that for your personal, like because you have this skill. Now all of a sudden you can work on commercial property for yourself, and you have the same skill set. So I think it's awesome.
It's been, dude. It's just been so weird because I basically had to learn new skills. Not that I didn't participate in grant writing before. I participated in it. But now I'm overseeing it, right? And the fact that we just submitted a project it's over $1 million for a boiler, one boiler. project, right? But it runs one of the pools, one of the facilities in the town, and I'm overseeing that, right? So it just shows me that like relationships, it's not always about what you know. Obviously, you do have to know what you're talking about to present something, but as long as you have people on your team and in your corner that can support it, the vision of what you're looking to do, you'll always be fine.
And I think you're going to enjoy the physical aspect. Like, yes, you've done a lot where you physically
Wait, I have to build this too?
No, yeah, that too. But I'm saying, like, in your position now, and correct me if I'm wrong, you do a lot of things that are project, like, what's the word? Program oriented, right?
Yep.
Where this is something physical that you'll be able to go back to forever.
Structural,
I think
you
you're
see
gonna,
it.
That's what I love about it, is that when like you do renovations in your own house, you can physically enjoy it and touch it.
Right.
It's another level of like satisfaction that you don't get.
I could see that.
Which I think you're
I could see that. That's a
That's
good,
my
good
guess.
call. We'll see. But anyway, the first round of deadlines are now over, which is good because not every project is going to get approved. That's the other thing that sucks about this process, because you do all this legwork and then that some of them are not going to get approved by the state because there's other important things. But like, if we just submitted 5 projects, the hope is to get 2.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you get 1, and that's good, but like the hope is to get at least 2. So there's new deadlines now in the works for the beginning of May that will scrunch me a little bit more, but it's been a time.
Scrunch.
Yes.
Great word.
But it's been I don't know if it was like a squeeze and a crunch.
Squeeze, crunch, scrunch.
I don't know. It's been a new era for me while I was trying to like do some extra stuff. So I just know I was a pain in the ass to my wife. That's my point. Like, it just adds to it. But anyway, enough about me.
No,
Give me work
that
stuff.
excites me a ton because I think the skill set's awesome. Like, that skill set,
It's different, right? Like,
it's and you to get that experience is very difficult, and you're in the front lines of it. So like that's gonna be cool. And think about like the scale you're talking about. That's fun.
Yeah,
like when the scale is big, you're like, wow.
Now we hope it just gets, some of them get approved. Because if not, it's just
just like a half of a pavilion.
I just submitted 50,000 pages of work.
Well, worst case, you go, like you said, go build it yourself. So.
That'll be a good cardboard box.
No, that's awesome. So, yeah, for me, this month has been a lot of like, I talked about systems as my overarching thing. So a lot of it was organizing I'm calling it my core 4. Like, I talk about not doing too much. Clearly I do a lot. We all do a lot. But this year has been defining exactly my pillars. So I've found that I have 4 core pillars, right? I have maybe 3 and then 1 overarching one. So I have No Snooze with you guys, right? Which has been amazing. A lot of cohesive synergy with other business endeavors I'm taking on. I have that. We have Mike Pirelli Grants Real Estate, which is its own LLC now. I just filed for Tell 'em Mike Sent You LLC, and I'll be filing for Grants Clothing Company LLC, which...
What is that?
So I just rolled that out. I'll explain in a sec. But I have these 4 things that now I'm like, all right, no more adding things. You got to focus on these pillars and build them, right? Because like we've gotten No Snooze to a point where it's, to some term, we have a long way to go, but we're in a groove, right?
Yep.
Once we get in a groove with something, you don't have to push as hard. I mean, we're pushing hard regardless, but you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like the grind, it's a little more sustained, right? The real estate stuff, I'm actually scaling back and focusing in on Greenwich, which has been I've turned away more listing opportunities in the last 2 weeks than I've had in previous years.
Wow.
Which has been hard. Because
That's got to be a good feeling, though, no?
Kind of, because I'm like, am I shooting myself in the foot? Am I doing it too early? You second guess everything, but I committed to not doing it because my thought is it's all opportunity cost, right? By me doing something elsewhere, I'm not doing what I should be doing. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it.
Correct.
So I'm trying to do that, right? So, and I talked to I have an attorney in place now that I've been working with closely. So there's a lot of things that I'm structure-wise are coming to fruition. And I'll talk to you guys about the LLC because we at some point have to file also, right? I'm also going through trademarking for the G logo, which is my logo for real estate, which I'm going to then, a lot of stuff I do, if I do one thing, it's going to translate to us, which is great. So I'm learning all the costs of trademarking it. So then once that's done, I can be like, all right, or not even when it's done, but when we're ready, I'll be like, all right, we're going to trademark it. So all of this stuff is happening at once, and it's great, but it's a lot of like, and then tell Mike saying we filed for the LLC because people are starting to kind of copy it, and we're starting to get
Copy what, though? Because you obviously got the. It's like a podcast, right? Like we got the idea from.
So it's not copy.
There's a million
I'm,
of those.
I'm
no?
seeing that. So what I'm seeing is that people are replicating some aspects of it, which is fine. It's not a.
It's a compliment.
It's a compliment, but it's not a new idea. My point, though, is it's made me move quicker than I anticipated.
Because you feel people could be on your back, so let me
good,
do it better.
Right? You're trying to work like people always try to take your job type of thing.
Yep.
So I had the like I've had a lot of serendipity, like you asking us to start this, and then we started this, and look where it is now. And then meeting, Claudio and Just, like all of this kind of just happened. So I've always been, I've always gone with my gut of like, this feels right.
Mm-hmm.
So I met with a couple foodies that I learned to live in Greenwich. And I'm like, yeah, and they're, amazing. They do their own brands. Just so happen their brands in Fairfield County and Westchester County, right? And I'm like, what are the chances?
Yep.
They don't really do a ton in Greenwich.
Yep.
So they wanted to work together. So I'm like, all right. So I met with them. And part of the initiative this year was to pull myself away from certain things that are at a level where they're managing themselves kind of thing.
Right.
And tell Mike saying the social media aspect is great, but it's a lot of time. So I removed myself and now they're in charge, which again has been like leaving your hands off the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been a
we
big
need
step.
that. We're still looking for somebody for No Snooze, by the way.
Yeah. So that's, but my point being is like we saw how that went. Didn't work out perfectly, but we tried.
Yep.
So I'm like, let me give it a try. So far they've been amazing. And if you are in social media and want to work with No Snooze, we're looking actively. But all these, like, I kind of look at it as like a big chessboard, and I'm starting to make some progress on things. Greenwich Clothing Company was something that I didn't plan on rolling out. Someone else started something similar, and in my head, I was like, people are asking me for my logo on things because they like it, right? I met with a couple people, and they were like, why aren't you selling these? Like, why aren't you at least giving them out? Blah, blah, blah. So in my head, I was like, if it's going to happen in a year, let me just get the structure ready, and then I can slowly roll it out. And at least it's there. I have the trademark. I can scale it up quick. And I found that now, like my clients, I'm giving them, when they move into town, my gear. So
they'll always have something to wear and represent, word of mouth.
But it's a logo that's town-wide, so a lot of people in town want it.
Yep.
And it is my brand that I created, and I am trying to be synonymous with Greenwich, and it's a logo of Greenwich.
Right.
So by piecing it out, now people can enjoy the logo, and I can get kind of embedded in the fabric of town.
I like that.
So that rolled out, but that I didn't anticipate doing so quickly. But because I got the foodies involved, it freed up a little time to just get the structure ready. So all of the structure stuff is getting the systems out and organized is happening all at once, which is great.
That's awesome.
It's just a lot of
it's
moving parts.
Good momentum.
And the No Snooze stuff we'll talk about because I talked to him about how to structure that, and it's something that you are our captain, you're the leader, so it might make sense.
We are all captains.
We are, but at some level, when you do a business, you need kind of one North Star person, and everyone feeds off the energy. And I don't know if CV would agree, but you're that guy. We'll get that figured out. But the point being is it's been very clear now what the pillars are, and now it's just working on the pillars, whereas the past 7 years have been organizing to this point.
Trying to figure it out.
Which comes with its own pressures. And then on top of that, Dana has come around to evaluating a property. So that could be a very big, not change, but we just finished a renovation.
Yep.
And then potentially going out and buying another house.
That's not a bad thing, though, right? Like, because then obviously that becomes a rental opportunity, and your enhancements only enhance the rental income that would come to you guys.
Yeah. So our investment strategy, is to buy, live in, enjoy some utility value in the property we renovate, and then move to the next one.
Right.
So this next house that we're looking at, we're both believers in like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. So we're not rushing into it. But it's definitely become more of a reality lately. And by doing that, now I'm really figuring out like, all right, well, we just so happen to shoot a MTV Cribs of our house, like a version, so that we can forever have it in case we were going to rent it out, right?
Okay.
As a marketing piece. And all of a sudden, now it's an opportunity. And I'm like, I had no idea that she was open to it this early. So it's a lot of like, everything's happening at once. And I'm pretty overwhelmed with like, all the stuff going on, but it's all good stuff.
That's all good stuff.
So you got to figure out how to capture it all.
Absolutely.
So that's my long-winded answer. If everything the chessboard, the pieces are moving forward finally, but it's taken 7 years to get to this.
Well,
point.
that's like the overnight success, right? People will see
Kind
you
of.
do all that stuff, and they'll be like, in their minds, they'll think, wow, look how quickly he put this off the ground. When really, it's been a 7-year
takes
process.
forever. It's taken longer
and there's
than I
been a
thought.
lot of, you spoke on plenty of failures,
Oh, yeah.
up until this point. You've thrown a lot of darts.
Greenwich
as they
Capital,
say.
Not
Yeah, but
ever a thing.
that doesn't matter. This is all just stuff. And honestly, all of it does, fall into a no snooze mindset, right? When you want something, you go get it, and you find a way to do it, even if it does take some patience, as we'll continue.
And we'll go into the patience. But part of the reason that I've enjoyed this patience and like taking my time to do all this is now I'm starting to see it like starting to work a little bit.
Yep.
Whereas getting a house and putting a ton of money into it over 3-4 years, a lot of people, not that I care what people think, but even for yourself, you're like, is this the right move? And now I'll actually be able to see if all the BS I've been talking, it actually can rent for what I think it can rent for.
And it absolutely can.
It might, but just the point being is like,
Yep.
I'll finally get some feedback
Mm-hmm.
on the strategy and if it's working versus for 3 years, I'm like, wow, we are sinking a ton of money into this house with no type of like positive, like, oh, well, it makes sense now.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of at the cusp. This deal could not happen, but
But
it's good
just
to
the
go
fact
through
that,
the exercise.
exactly.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
just like you were saying in the previous
Yep,
one.
I agree 100%. That's all good stuff.
You see Bitcoin, by the way?
Yes, I did.
64K.
It's up. When it's up, then it's up.
Someone mentioned that when it was 40.
It's
Not to
up.
listen. My thing is like it's probably going to keep going,
Yep.
and it's not like a short-term play, but it's just funny. It's crazy.
Yep. So speaking on Bitcoin, I'll go also into an investment piece with Peloton, right?
Love
So
it.
the fact that Peloton took a huge dip
Saw that.
opportunity to buy
Double down.
because
Buy the dip. Hashtag.
by the dip.
That's what everyone says.
Because, right? People don't understand that with COVID now, a lot of huge banks, big businesses, big organizations who are also public companies publicly downsized to say, you know what, we're going to keep more people at home. So we're going to downsize our offices. Now, immediately when something like that happens and you have an in-home fitness brand, what do you think happens to the demand, right? Like if you now know that you're going to be set working from home, that's a future for Peloton, right? So again, I happen to get in extremely early with Peloton, and I'm not telling people to go put your money in Peloton.
This is not financial
Yeah,
advice,
no,
by the
but
way.
for me, I just saw it as another opportunity because one, you have to believe in the product, right? If you don't believe in a product, you shouldn't buy it. But it's an extreme opportunity because I see Peloton, like I know when in 3 years from now, when we discuss this conversation, there's going to be a significant increase to where we were at.
So here is my challenge for you and anyone out there. Try to figure out if, and I think it'll continue to go up or, whatever. It'll be lucrative in the future. How can you utilize that cash without taking it out? That's like what I've been trying to think about. Everything I invest in is like, if you invest in something, for example, a house, you could always get a home equity line of credit off it,
Yep.
right? So in theory, you're investing, you get the upside, but you also have the ability to use it. So like with stocks and things, if you can, life insurance,
Yep.
you can always borrow against your life insurance, right?
Whole life.
Whole life, whatever it is, whatever. My whole like theory is that if you can, like a bank reuses cash, right? So if you can invest in something and then you also can be able to borrow against it, then you're exponentially using that money for multiple things.
Right.
So you're getting the interest or the upside, but you're also buying an asset or whatever
Right.
it is.
One of the biggest things on the whole life insurance, which is why we just upped our premium, obviously, with the birth of Callie, right? So investments for us have become a real thing. We started out pretty early, but we wanted to make sure that we have like pillars. My wife she's not really into the investment thing, but like I know that, I can slide out some money from paycheck to paycheck to make sure that we're building
Slide out. I love
and
that.
that we're
It's like-
building, a portfolio. So that's what we've done.
You're skimming from your own.
But to your point about the whole life, which was something that I loved, when it got broken down to me, and the fact that you can have, 100,000 available to you to utilize, right? But when you pull that out for say you want to
Deposit on a house.
right, a house or some sort of another investment, your money still makes money as if it were still sitting in there.
You become your own bank.
Whereas like a deferred compensation, if I pull out 50,000 from my 100,000, my interest is only on that 50K that's still in there. Whereas with whole life, you still
Yeah, you
grab
keep the
interest,
upside,
right?
but you're
on
also
the big
using
number,
it.
which is incredible, and people don't understand. I told you about this when we sat down, but what it is like again, consistency is the most important thing. So every single paycheck, if you commit to something over time, over a 16-year period, 18-year period, 20-year, what you're doing is creating actual wealth for your family.
Yeah.
That's an incredible thing that I never thought about. I mean, yes, I got in pretty young, right? It was like 25-ish when I made my first big investment.
Mm-hmm.
But kids these days, like Justin's 16 years old, he's not even thinking that way.
Yeah.
When in reality, like, he should be pulling out 10% right now.
At least get into the habit. Yeah.
Exactly. And,
Yeah.
and building the habit.
And it's like in the beginning, you'll probably think to yourself, like, I don't know what to do with this. But then when the opportunity presents itself and you figure it out, at some point you get into like a flow and you're like, I know exactly what I'm going to do with it now.
Exactly.
Like you don't have it's easier to save when you have a purpose for saving.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can put yourself in a position where you don't know the purpose yet, but you just have some money, you know?
And it's great to build habits like that. It's
yeah.
phenomenal.
It's
Like it doesn't matter what it is that you're doing, but if you can do that consistently, you will be, by the time you're 25, you will be so much better off than somebody who didn't do that.
I think I'm a firm believer in, like, you got to invest in what you're most confident in, what you know, which is Warren Buffett. And I'm not a huge Warren Buffett fan. I think he's fine. I think he's like, everyone loves him, but I'm trying to go more on the offense than just kind of like sitting back and collecting and being his age and being like, oh, I'm eating McDonald's every day. Like, there's different size fits all for everyone, and just figuring out your own personal philosophy and figuring out with your family is fun. And then I think I'm slowly brainwashing Dana with the real estate stuff.
That's exactly
like she's
what's
enjoying the renovations because I kind of had her lead it in a sense as far as like what we're doing. So you give them, she really enjoyed seeing it come to fruition. So now that we're looking at the next one, she's like, yeah, I can see this. I can, whereas the first house, it was like, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Where now she came to me and was like, I think we can make it work. And I'm like, wow. But it's taken
a couple years.
5 years, whatever it was.
And it's
cool.
It has been fun to watch too. Like I remember when I saw your house for the first time, but your vision was great. And I happen to have the same vision
because
I understand.
Good vision. Yeah.
But when you see people's reaction, like this is what
it's hilarious.
You're doing, like this is what, and because then it's kind of like the conversation you have when you finally do reach that level of success where you can look back and be like, I kind of told you so. It's a good feeling.
Well, yeah, the told you so feeling is kind of cool, but also like as much as I say like, oh, I don't care what people think, it's hard not to be affected a little bit.
Of course.
When everyone you show the house to is like, this
what
is
are
a
you
haunted house.
Yep. I get it. All right, let's move to No Snooze Reckies.
Yes.
I'm coming into my suit jacket.
I got them in my pocket.
Oh, okay. So I'm coming out of my suit jacket. And again, when I do these things, and I remember talking to you guys, right? And saying like, I don't know, I'm a boring dude. Like, what am I going to recommend? Blah, blah, blah.
I would argue you're one of the least boring people I know.
But to me, it's boring because I do the same thing. Like the thing I'm going to recommend has been my thing for 2 years that I haven't changed, right? But it shows me that like you should be recommending a product like this because this is something that you use every day.
Yeah, as long as we use it and we actually enjoy it,
right?
And the calories are low.
Right. No Dave's Bagels, right?
Yeah.
So make sure I pronounce this right. But this is the Tendlin iPhone case.
Wow.
Right?
When you pulled it out, I'm like, what is it, an app?
Right. So I'll take it off my phone so Michael can
let me touch
can
it.
feel it. You could show it into the camera.
It's got a wood grain.
Right?
Is this mahogany?
So it is a wood grain outside. It's got a soft TPU, which stands for thermoplastic polyurethane, which is the strong. Most people are like, what the hell is that, right?
Flexible.
But it is the strongest mix of rubber, plastic, and elastic, which is considered the best form of defense from when your phone drops.
Wow.
So it kind of absorbs the shock value, I guess, of it. But I've literally had that case for 2 years straight. This color is the red sandalwood, it's called. And you know me, I like wood things. I'm a very wood grainy guy. It comes in a bunch of other colors, though. And they have it available for every phone. I mean, even Mike's iPhone 4 to up to the new iPhone 12. They have it fits. They have it available. That one probably fits. Because isn't it the same?
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, Daddy. Yo, sold.
So
how many calories?
It's also extremely slim. It's got over 2,700 reviews on Amazon, where you can visit the entire Tendlin store, and with a Davey deal price of just $12.88.
Wow.
Right?
That's super cheap.
Yes.
Yours has kept, too. So, like, this is Dave's recommendation. This is my phone. It's, like, destroyed.
Yo, dude, I'm telling you, right? I've literally had this case for 2 years straight. I spent $12 on it that long ago, and I've never got another case. One thing I do recommend though is making sure you put a
Screen protector?
screen protector on, because it doesn't protect the screen. But what it does, it actually overlaps a little bit. So when you do put it down, right, it's not on the screen right now. So it's pretty genius.
How do I test if mine does that? I'm assuming it doesn't.
I don't know.
just
But
breaks.
the charging ports, like on some cases, it gets in the way and stuff. No, volume still works great. Literally a 2-year product, $12.88 freaking cents.
This might be the item that I buy.
Right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
might
It's
be.
just
So can you customize it?
I don't know about that, but they do have ones that have the credit card holder, which you would probably
I like
like.
that.
It's very efficient. So TENDLIN. Type that in on
Tendlin.
Amazon.
Tendlin.
Tendlin, yeah.
It sounds like something
like
you
a-
eat,
like a chicken
piece of
tenderloin.
meat. That's what I was thinking, dude. Yeah.
Like the chicken tenderloin.
I'm going to have a chicken tenderloin.
So go to Amazon, type in Tendlin. They have their store on Amazon, and that is where I got this product.
I might hire you as a salesman for anything. You can tell
Is it
me
good?
anything.
Is
That
it
was
good?
good. You're
All
a
right,
salesman
Nice.
for everything. That's good. Mine is something that anyone can use. I'll give it. Let's do.
Anyone can use.
Yeah. Can you try to guess what it is? It's a marketing.
Business card.
Very close.
Oh.
Very close.
Oh.
That was good. Wow. It's something that you hand out like when brands are starting out.
Like a flyer or a index.
What did we do when we first? What did CV
stickers? Boom. It's my guy.
good, huh?
That's my guy.
This guy's on fire.
That's my guy.
So I would have no snooze stickers, but I didn't buy
You
them
gotta
yet.
talk into
I
me.
would have no snooze stickers, but I didn't buy them yet.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do a little shameless plug of
Okay.
the stickers I do have.
Go ahead. Talk
Okay.
to me.
What do you think they are of?
Is it the G? I was gonna say, is it the eat or is it the G?
It's the eat. It's the eat because
It's the
these were
eat.
the
Okay.
first ones
Okay.
where like we would go into places and hand them out.
I have my laptop. Let me stick one on
Look
here.
at the quality of these bad boys.
Let me see.
This is from stickermule.com.
Okay. Spell it.
Sticker and then mule, which is MULE
Okay.
.com.
Let me slap one on here.
Here.
Is this
Get
one
a feel.
sticker?
No. look at
Oh,
them.
this
There's
is
a bunch.
like 100.
So they have die cut, which is this, where it goes around the trim of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the quality's it's a beautiful quality. They have magnets. They have.
I was going to say, this is actually much thicker than your typical sticker, which is great because it looks like it's going to hold up,
Yes.
right? The durability of it.
And we have them in our provider for No Snooze.
Yep.
I haven't tried one yet, but these are a lot less expensive.
How much? What are we talking?
The breakdowns, like for 300, I think they're like $100.
Oh, wow.
And they give you my favorite part of it is they have mule sauce, hot sauce.
Mule sauce.
That is the hottest hot sauce you've had, and it just comes with
My
orders
nails.
over $100.
Dude, my nails, I'd cut them.
Yeah, you're struggling.
I know. But it's all right. Hold on.
But no,
Here
it's
we
a
go.
great site, very easy to use. You upload, it shows you a rendering of what it'll look like. So I just bought a bunch for the real estate stuff. No Snooze one's coming soon.
Here we go.
But it looks legit, right?
Yeah,
like that's
absolutely.
a legit sticker.
There we go.
So that might be something that we, might be passing around.
Just drop them in the gym everywhere. Just slap them on the
Straight
dumbbells.
gorilla style, yeah.
Just slap them everywhere.
Just that. So I got ones with QR codes on it.
Okay. And
So
where you
maybe
scan.
maybe we just like do a QR code with our logo and just put it everywhere.
Ooh.
Just,
But now
like,
would
slap
that
'em.
can that take you to like the Instagram page?
Yeah, take you anywhere.
Wow.
Take you
Anywhere?
anywhere. We could take him to an episode if you want.
Ooh.
So I've been incorporating that in my real estate stuff. So like when I send a postcard now,
Yep.
it has a QR code so they can go right to the video.
Very cool.
But the stickers are phenomenal.
Yes.
For any
Very
brand,
nice.
these bad boys are, and if you get like 1,000, they
Yep.
get so cheap. I just didn't want to spring for crazy amounts.
You know what happens when I bought 1,000 of the Brim King
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Didn't
Well,
really
we're
work
not
out.
trying to sell them. It would just be like a sunk cost you just got to dish out.
Yes.
But
No, very
Sticker
good. I like
Mule-
that. I like that recce, man. I am.
.com.
I'm gonna hold you accountable. I think
Yeah,
we
you
need
want
some
stickers?
No Snooze stuff. I want No Snooze stickers too.
I feel like I'm
So
at
you're
the
on,
club.
You hear me, Mike? You're on the. You're
Yeah,
on
I'm
the hook.
on the sticker game.
You're on the hook.
Yeah. I'll get the stickers.
No, it's good. Current events. You got one?
Look at the quality, CV. What do you think of the quality? Because you're the sticker guy, right? Where'd you get your stickers in the past? Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
CV said he makes his own.
Excuse me. They're nice, right?
Yeah,
The
they're
color
good.
is like vibrant. They have ones that go into the inside of windows.
Yep.
So you can stick it face first.
Okay.
I have magnets. I'm just going to
Sticker
start throwing them on.
mule.
I'm going to get Ferraris and just throw them on Ferraris. Just the most expensive car I can
and
find.
just slap it on
What
there.
is this crap?
Oh man. Current events. I have an incredible one for you. So in a world full of bad news, And it sounded like a story, right?
Yeah.
But in a world full of like turmoil and coronavirus and vaccine nonsense and all the political nonsense that's going on, racial stuff that's going on, it's just good to find a good story, right? Like with good uplifting news. So this was I don't know if you can identify it as an act of kindness. She and her husband think it was more God-driven. So this story broke at the end of March, and it's about Pam and Gary Willis out in California. Munfie, California? Is that right?
I've never heard of it.
I don't know. Was it
A Mumphy?
It was a strange name.
Sounds
in
like
California.
a fish.
Couple in their 50s, large house, like 6-bedroom house, grew up with their 5 kids, but all the kids are now older. So they have this huge house, right? Pam is scrolling on IG back in 2019. She sees this story of a headline, 7 children lose their parents in a rollover accident.
Wow.
She said she felt this thing from like God. She was like, oh my God, I have to adopt them. But, she was like, I'm going to propose this to Gary, and Gary's going to be like, yeah, sounds really good. I'd love to help the family, but like we're going to adopt 7 children. Yeah. They ranged in age from 1 to 12 years old.
Oh
so you're not talking like just, all grown-ups or something like that. These people ended up adopting all 7 children.
Wow.
Isn't that incredible?
That's insane.
Right? Like it actually is
way.
insane.
In a good
and
way.
there was, in a great way. But she said that, she just felt when she read this story, she reached out and there was thousands of applications. Mm-hmm. So that's when she knew, like, well, it's up to God. Like, if we get chosen for this, then blah, blah, blah. They had their sit down. And then just this past August during COVID, they had their 5 children, their real 5 children, attend a virtual event where they actually adopted these 7 children. And now all of them live in the house with them. Yes. So I was so intrigued by the story.
Must be a big house.
It is. Well, it's a 6-bedroom house because they had their own 5 kids, right?
Yeah.
So it made sense.
Can you imagine raising 5 and then all of a sudden?
And then 7, right. So this is their name on Instagram. I was so taken back by the story.
Follow right now.
It's called Second, like spell out second, .chance .7. So second .chance .7. And you can actually follow. She posts like every day. And it's just an incredible story. So there are good people out there. So,
It's amazing.
Mike, if your parents ever decide to let you go,
Cute family.
just know that there are people out there that will adopt you.
Listen, I'm
All
still looking to get adopted by a big time family.
But what a story, huh?
That's awesome. Your current event game also is very strong.
Well, listen, I come.
Mine's not
with-
that exciting.
So I find my events through things that I actually read.
Yeah.
Like I don't really like look for the events, but it's good to find. I found this story and I was reading it. I'm like, holy shit. And it's good news, right?
Yeah, good news is good to share.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good one. I wish mine was more good news.
No, don't worry.
So mine's, as you can tell with a week off and eating, my current event is food related. So there was an Instagram account in town that was Chick-fil-A Greenwich, and they were saying that they were opening up. Do you know where patio.com used to be?
Yes.
Next to Joey B's.
Yes.
That big,
Patio.com on Main.
yes.
Putnam.
So
right?
this account was hitting people up saying we're opening up, blah, blah, blah. I followed the foodies that are working with me now, reposted stuff, and turns out it was a fake account. Wasn't on April 1st. Had the town in a tizzy. So in my head, I'm like, why would someone do this?
Right.
And I was thinking, I'm like, strategy-wise, why would they do this? Everyone was pissed. Like, people were like, how are you putting in a Chick-fil-A? How's it a drive-through? Because there's only 2 drive-throughs in town. There's Taco Bell and Wendy's.
No Starbucks drive-through.
No, nothing. No
Wow.
coffee. Dunkin'. There's like cars in the middle of the street.
Why is that?
It must be a town rule.
Traffic flow or something?
Yeah, a town rule. Like it gives you a little more of a small town feel, right? Like big.
What about
town,
McDonald's? There's McDonald's on.
It's not a drive-through.
Yes, it is a
not a
drive-through.
drive-through.
The one across from the Mercedes dealership.
Not a drive-through.
That changed then.
No, it was always not been a drive-through. That's why I was a Wendy's ride or die, because you can hit it through. So my mom used
so
to take me
maybe it is Wendy's. Wow.
So anyway, everyone's in a tizzy. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a little research. So I looked up some stuff. It's definitely a real estate firm that's trying to show Chick-fil-A that there's
a
a demand.
a want
it
for
was
it.
genius.
Wow.
So I looked into the account, and I looked at some accounts that follow. There was another one with another food brand. I forgot what the brand was, but it was like a Sonic or something. And they were just fishing to see what would be the biggest. Because then they can go to the company and say,
say, look, there's a demand.
there's an account already.
Wow.
How smart.
That's genius.
Yeah. But people were pissed.
So the current event is fraud people.
Fraud people, yeah.
You know,
you had to feel good. I had people frauding
trick people into thinking something, and it'll be a genius.
And curveball, I did the account.
I
No, but I was like,
am the real estate
that's
firm.
pretty smart.
That is. That's good. That's a good. That's
I thought you liked that because
that's a good business
Can you
story.
imagine what's your favorite? Imagine if someone started a bar taco account.
Oh God!
Wait a sec, and put it like
I would be all over it.
half a mile near your house.
I would be all
You
over
would be
it.
so mad.
I would be pumping that.
People were pissed.
I would be pumping that all over the place.
Yeah.
I think we should do it.
What
Bar taco in Yorktown.
Is there a restaurant that you like more than bar taco? No. Bar taco's the ultimate.
So bar taco to me, when I'm there, like takeout is great, right? Takeout is phenomenal. I love takeout, but the environment of like the jalapeno margarita,
unbelievable.
Outdoors, the white umbrellas. Are the umbrellas white?
I have no idea. They're umbrellas.
Yeah,
I think
they are
they're
umbrellas,
blue.
right?
I think
Okay,
they're blue.
Yeah, but like there's the white bar outdoors.
Yeah, it's very
the sun,
coastal.
the water. I'm eating
Byram River.
tacos. Yeah, well, that's the other thing. When I eat the fish tacos, I'm like, look, it's probably from the water right here, but it's a Byram River, so it's probably not.
Pulling
probably
right
not
out.
the
That's
best.
why you're glowing
the
after.
best mix of Portchester and Greenwich fish that you can grow. I don't know. Just the whole vibe for me is.
They do a
what
great job.
You know,
man. It's always.
I don't
packed.
even know if the food is that good, but the pork belly tacos go up against the best taco in the world.
They were good. We still got to get you over to La Taqueria. I did a lot of shout outs today. I didn't
listen,
plan on this. We're
that's
hungry
all right.
people.
It is what it is.
So, bar taco, phenomenal.
Wow.
Big fan. The house that we're looking at, now
Next
I'm
to
getting
Bar
all
Taco?
excited. See, I tell people don't get emotionally invested.
Is
Now
there
I'm getting
room? Is there room for a bar taco downstairs?
There's like a little outdoor area that's a tinkering shed, okay, that has electrical in it, and there's a little like window already in it. And I'm like, this is and I have the recipe. I had a friend that worked there, and they gave me the recipe.
That is true. And an outdoor margarita spot?
Mike Taco.
Oh, I'm in. I'm sold.
Listen,
sold. Episode over.
I actually might
Bye,
charge
guys.
entrance fee.
Yeah, absolutely. $10.
Dave, you eat free. Claudio, Justin has to pay half price.
Yeah, he's got to put some weight on, so we're good.
Yeah, we'll feed you free food.
All right. No, it's beautiful stuff, man. Let's talk a little bit of the actual subject today. And this is the best. I love going down our routine, going through the process, and then we close with some sort of value.
And somehow we link it all together. Like, you got to be patient. Chick-fil-A may show up in your town.
Right. And if it doesn't, there's always Bar Taco to go to.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
My guy.
Right?
That's the guy I was telling you about. That's the guy.
The guy. That's him.
We used to do that all the time.
Yeah,
I got
so
that
bad.
from a friend who used to do that. He used to just show up to parties and be like, that's the guy. This is the guy I was telling you about, just random people.
And they're like, no. And
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, that's him.
the dude.
And then we took it to another level. We would do it in restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
That's the guy.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah.
That's
The
the
guy.
guy.
That's funny. It is funny.
Shot. All right, good.
We wanted to take a quick second to let you guys know that we partnered with our good friends over at Orgain.com. We're happy to offer our listeners 30% off by entering the code NOSNOOZE30. Again, that's NOSNOOZE30 for 30% off your first order. If you're on the market for a new protein powder, nutritional shake, protein bar, or Mike's favorite, collagen peptides, Orgain is your one-stop shop. As all of you know, my Crohn's disease is currently in remission, and the only protein I use is from Orgain. My personal favorites are the chocolate peanut butter and the vanilla bean. With the code, you can try a 2-pound tub for under $20. Talk about not snoozing. Go get yours today. Now, back to the epi.
So, patience. Tough subject for me, honestly, because when I think about it, right, like I said earlier in the episode, I think one of my assets to my life and the way that I live it is my lack of patience.
Yeah.
Right? Because when it comes to business,
Urgency,
and it
we'll
comes
say.
to things that you want to do, I don't, and I hate hearing people tell other people, just be patient. Just be patient.
Well, is it because of the just or the patient?
Well, both, right? Both words piss me off. But the reality is, if you want something and you want to start an endeavor, you cannot be patient because, one, somebody else will come and do your idea.
Mm-hmm.
And two, if you don't have systems in place, there's no need to be patient, right? The only time that you should be patient is when now you're working towards building consistency and you have habits in place that are leading to progress. Then patience comes in, right? But don't confuse the two, because patience in itself, like Justin, you should not be patient in your life, right? Because if you're patient in your life, then other people are going to come and do exactly what it is that you want to do, and the opportunities are going to fly by you.
Can I do a footnote?
Yes.
Patient with results, not urgency.
Once you've built-
urgency with action.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I like that. Urgency with action. Oof.
You know what I'm saying? Because you have to be patient because stuff won't come
But
to
you
fruition.
can't be patient to start. You can only be patient
with results,
when you have
right?
things in place.
Like if I wasn't patient in my real estate, I would have quit because I didn't do anything for 8 months.
Correct. But like if I wasn't so if I chose patience on this new job opportunity, one, still haven't got it yet, so I'm just throwing it out there.
By the way, someone give him a call.
Right, but no, because if I chose to be patient and sit back and just do the good work that I'm doing, at some point and at some level, I'm just going to stay where I'm at. So like I needed to be impatient to make sure that my employer knew I'm ready for a job opportunity. Mm-hmm. And again, you also have to be okay, and I was okay with this, like putting myself out there that if my employer does not come through with that job opportunity, then I will go make another job opportunity for myself. Mm-hmm. But you have to have the realization, like, and the confidence to be like, yeah, I'm willing to.
That's scary, isn't it?
Oh, it's very scary.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. And the fact that people listen to the podcast made it even worse because it was used against me.
Well, when you were doing that stuff, I was like, wow, he is ballsy.
I mean, it is what it is, though, right? At the end of the day, I'm ready for a new opportunity. Been in a position for a while. I have much more to give. I'm doing
it's
extra
a big platform,
work,
too, so.
And I'm doing extra work. So, like, to me, it's like I'll find an opportunity, but I can't be patient about it.
And when you said they used it against you, in what sense?
Just like, oh, you know, are you really about that? Like, you're talking this big game. You know, you put things out there, and you said that you were going to go do something.
And you're like, no, Mike made me do it.
right. No, it's all for show.
It's
entertainment. Yeah, no. But it's the truth, right? And I happen to have good relationships with, you know, these people who have decisions in this thing. But also to them, they're like, you know, things don't just stop. And you know, there's a lot of other things going on right now than just getting this promotion, right? There's a lot of other things going on. But my take on it was like, I can't be patient because if I'm patient, then I'm not going to get that opportunity.
So I don't know who says it, but someone says like you have to make yourself invaluable.
Yes.
Like
agreed.
Your goal of whatever position you're in is you have to make yourself irreplaceable.
Yep.
So then if you ever have the opportunity to leave or whatever, they will bend over backwards to keep you.
Yep. So when it comes to business, my mindset is like, go get it. Don't wait. Don't be patient. I think the misconception, like you and Dana were talking about, in your scenario, like wait for the right time. That's a good time to use that. But in business, like, you know, when you said like if it's the right time with the house, it'll happen. That's different, right? Yeah. In business, that doesn't fly.
Yes.
At least in my
my
thought process, right? But the patience that I'm working on is in my personal life, like in my relationships.
Quite literal patience.
Yes, but I wanted to make sure there's clarity on the two different forms of.
Well, there's
patience.
a lot of forms of it,
right? But to me, there's two that we're discussing.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But for me, in my relationship with my wife, me as a father, me as even a business partner and friend, I have to understand that not everything is going to be Godspeed all the time.
Yeah, 20 minutes on the Peloton, 600 output. It can't all be that.
But as long as you're making progress towards something, then patience is an okay thing.
Well, that's the point. If you're impatient with progress, and you at least can say, well, I'm progressing, then it grants you a little extra patience to get through these slow times as far as results.
Right.
And it all depends on your, like, if you're in a sales job where it's a lower cost and it's quick, you don't really have to exercise it as much, right? If you're starting a podcast and a brand, patience is paramount.
Patience is paramount as long as you're putting things out.
Urgency action. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, yep.
100%.
I agree.
Because now you're at a point, right, where No Snooze is, as long as we keep recording and we keep putting out content for people to listen to, we are being patient in that process. But if we were to just sit back and stop, working and be like, yeah, guys, we have to have some patience. Mike, go enjoy your family. CV, enjoy the new house. You and your wife, you go and just let's forget about No Snooze. We'll be patient and we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
No, it'll die.
Well, yeah, that's the trick is keeping things alive and progressing enough even when you have ebbs and flows of busyness.
Yep.
Because that happens in everything, right? Like you have to allocate your time to certain places when it's more urgent, but you got to keep everything moving forward. Like you're saying, the pillars.
Right.
If you're building a deck, you got 4 pillars, whatever it is, you got to keep them moving up because if one gets too low, everything slides off the top.
Yes, correct. But one of the best analogies that I received, and this is from one of my shrinks.
One of them.
So shout out the shrinks.
Where do I land on priority?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It could have been you.
4?
So I don't know if it was you. I gotta debate because I do have 2 mics as a shrink. I got Mike Pirelli and I got my guy Mike.
Yeah, I was talking to someone else who had a shrink, and I'm like, am I the only one who
doesn't have a shrink? Well, you know what's wild?
Do I need to enlist the shrink?
I was talking to CV about this a while ago on a personal level, right? But what it has done for me is invaluable.
Oh, it's
right.
It's
It
great.
really
It's a
is. If you
sounding board.
utilize it, and people don't understand, my original transaction with a shrink was atrocious because I was a child. It was a parent battle that I was having.
This is when you were skinny too.
This is when I was skinny, so I couldn't beat the shrink up.
Yep.
Right. So
He
it was
had
a big problem.
He had a
But
complex.
my first experience was terrible because like I watched somebody completely lie to the therapist, and then the therapist tell me, "No, son, it seems like you need the help." So I was like, "Well, these shrinks are retarded." Then I found out that person was going to lunch with the shrink. So I'm like, "This is stupid." Like, there's nothing that's good that can come out of this. But as I got older, I noticed that the highly successful people that I emulated, right, would always talk about speaking to somebody, whether it was a shrink or a friend, but speaking to somebody about the uncomfortable things that you typically don't talk to people about. That's my idea of a shrink, right?
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it. Milet, he's gotten into my rotation a little more from his guests, but
of course,
everything he says, it's like, oh, it's literally Dave in 10 years. You know, it's like
no.
I feel like I'm listening to you when he talks.
Listen. That would be great. But
he says brother too.
Does he?
He hits you with occasionally brother.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah, we do have that in common, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's weird because that was something like, I don't know, growing up.
You always, I'm not saying it's like something you took. I'm just saying I see a lot of.
Honestly, sometimes I'm like, wait, did I take that from him or did he take that from me?
Well, he follows the podcast,
Yeah,
right?
of
So
course.
probably you.
And he'll be a guest on the show. Mark my words. But
That'd be intimidating.
one of the things
I'm not prepared for all these big time guests if we get them.
One of the things that I had to like correlate to say, okay, you know what? You always strive for this uncomfortable space, right? And then when it is uncomfortable, that's when you achieve X, because you go right into the uncomfortable space. Where I need to practice my patience is when I do want to say something nasty to my wife for whatever reason, if we're fighting or something like that. When that moment gets uncomfortable, I have to choose patience and choose to literally say to myself, that is not the right thing to say right now. Step away. At work, I've been choosing patience a lot, right? Like I think I spoke about this on the very first or second episode. Something I do is I either pull out a clock and I put 10 minutes on the clock to see if the decision that I'm going to make is actually how I feel in 10 minutes.
I didn't know that.
And then the other thing I do is write a message and then I delete it.
See, that scares me. Is writing a message.
Well, I won't send it, right?
But
That's
even
a
writing
practice.
it, I feel like you're giving it.
Oh no,
life.
I give it
Or
life.
it gets it out.
Oh, I give it life. I'm like Mike Pirelli.
He slams like this?
Yes, absolutely. That's the praying mantis.
I feel like you
by the
type
way.
with one finger.
That's a praying mantis.
Yeah.
Nobody does that. If you do that, you cannot listen to this podcast.
Pinkies.
Listen, that is a prerequisite to the No
Pinkies.
Snooze podcast. You cannot type like Mike Pirelli.
I feel like you have a typewriter because you like everything like
just
authentic.
slam. No, but there's certain things that I've been practicing on my day-to-day that really help me with the patience. But it's hard because I'm such an impatient person in general, right? Like I'm sure you
hear
can
it.
relate to that.
Yeah, the day-to-day exercise of it is the hardest part.
Yep.
Because sometimes you're like, oh, here's the thing, right? You're unsuccessful being patient once, and then you're like, damn, right? Because if you have one blow up, it's too many. So it's like,
Yep.
It's one of those things where even if you have one, you're kind of down on it.
Yes.
You know, because I mean, we all have it.
Mm-hmm. And I do think, because CV had mentioned, like when we go back and forth on the topics, he said building consistency, which is something that I think all of us just try to emulate in our own lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Dave Regina, very process oriented.
Yeah.
I jotted down something that, yes, we talk about all the time, so I didn't want it to be like redundant, but it's a little process that as I was thinking about building consistency, the key points.
Okay. Let it rip.
You want to hear it?
Yeah, absolutely. No,
Okay.
not at all.
So one, obviously defining the goal of what you want. Obviously, the more specific, the better.
Mm-hmm.
That's step one. But even if it's just a general, like, okay, I want to make more money, or I want to get in shape, right? Or I want a new job. I want a new house. At least you have some sort of guideline that is set. I think that's something that's like mandatory.
I agree.
Then you have to figure out the habits that play into progress, right? So finding out the things that you know from, you don't even have to really know. I mean, Google these days, Bing these days, whatever it is, like if you're
wait, Bing,
yeah.
Have you ever used Bing?
That's the number 2 search engine in the world.
No, it's YouTube is. Bing,
I was
dude?
just playing with you because I thought you said that.
Oh, no,
no,
Bing.
I know it's YouTube.
I was like, I don't think I've ever heard anyone use Bing.
Bing. I don't know. It's on my desktop at work. That's why I said it. I don't know. But, you don't even have to really know something, but as long as you can even Google it and find out the thing that you need to do.
You make it real.
Right. You find out, okay, well, to get in shape, I have to have shoes that work, right? To get in shape.
It's true.
I'm serious. Like, the smaller, the better, but you have to physically draw this out or map it out in your head, because I think it's something that, like, everybody would say, yeah, I want to get in shape, and then be like, well, where do I start?
See, I don't know if this is for everyone. For me, like, learning about topics make me more likely to follow through with things. Like, the more I know, the more I'm able to make some progress.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep. And obviously we've spoken on, SMART goals in the past, blah, blah. So I wanted to give something a little different. Now, this is the piece that if there is anything that I think is the most important and beneficial to people, because it's something that has worked for me, this is it.
Okay.
And I think it's anticipating adversity
Okay.
when you're trying to achieve something.
Yes.
Because when you're trying to achieve something, most of us, we're like, well, we see the goal. But we don't factor in the actual adversity that's going to happen, the times that you're not going to want to do it, right? And making the conscious decision to be like, yo, no, that's what I'm going to do. So planning for when the bad times happen. If you do that from the start, you will set yourself up for more success.
So I've taken it on as a badge of honor whenever something goes awry. So I'll say personal and professional. Personal, like if the baby falls off a bed, like you think you're the only.
God forbid.
But you know what I'm saying? Like
Those
when the
terrible
baby, if the
parents.
baby falls and cries, like you think at some point the baby wasn't going to fall and cry,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So that's how I think about.
Well,
like,
I didn't think she'd fall off a king
well,
bed
that's different,
4
right?
foot up in the middle of the night.
So yeah, good parents, bad parents.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, same thing.
So, but I'm saying, so professionally, like you're inevitably deals are going to fall through.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So as long as you look at it as like, well, this is a part of the process, and you feel like by going through that part, you're closer to where you need to be. That's the trick. I love fortune cookie saying.
Yes.
Partly because I love Chinese food, but I've always felt like there's certain ones that I get at perfect times, and it could just because I love Chinese food and I'm high off the MSG. But I got one when I first started real estate that said there's a lot of bumps on the road to Easy Street, and that I've kept on my computer forever.
Yep.
Because every day I'm like, oh, here's another
a
bump.
bump.
Here's another bump.
Yep.
Here's another bump. But as long as you know you're going to Easy Street,
Yep.
you'll go over the bumps, right?
And you're willing.
If Bar Taco is at the end of the street, you're going over some bumps.
I'm not gonna lie. If I go to Bar Taco and they tell me they're out of pork belly, that's a big bump.
I
don't know if I'm going to stay.
Well, that's
on the
not
road.
Easy Street,
That's
right?
what I'm saying. But
That's
it
a
might
bump.
be a bump to Easy Street. 'Cause
Well,
the
there's
next
other
time
Bar
I come back,
Tacos. We'll
they
go.
might double my order with pork belly. You get what I'm saying?
So it's all, but it is. We're making a joke of it. It is true. Like however you spin it, like salespeople spin everything into a positive. If you can be your own salesperson to spin how your life's going to turn out and why everything's happening for you versus to you. I think Ed says that all the time. I'll throw one back at you.
There you go.
Then you become kind of like this machine that just takes in negative information and somehow spits it out as a positive.
Right. You do that very well. It's a skill.
You have to.
You have to.
Else you'll be like depressed.
Yep.
Like some days I'm like, what happened
Nothing
today?
going good right
Everything went backwards, but this was the win because this happened, that. So there's, like when the rat bit through a water pipe, I was like, well, at least we get to spend some time with family.
It's a good way to look at it.
There's always something that.
At least we don't have to pay for food.
Dude,
Somebody else's.
seriously, we'll save money. At least we get insurance money.
Yep.
Like, there's no, there is adversity that's real bad, but like most of the stuff you can spin.
Yep.
And the ones you can't, some days you just go to sleep and wake up the next day.
100%.
Certain days I'm like, I got to go to bed.
Mhm.
This is just, punt this day, got to get to the next day. Right?
Yep.
Have you had one of
absolutely.
those lately? I had a rough day one day and
Yeah,
I
you
was
just
like,
gotta
I'm
get
going to
through.
bed.
Yeah.
like, I'm going to bed.
Absolutely. I spoke about it just a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
Remember when the day was so bad? I'm like, yo, look, the only thing that I can do is end this day.
Yeah.
But what I did was I woke up even 15 minutes earlier than I typically do because I was like, I'm going to try to get the momentum back on my side.
Yeah.
Even if I'm tired, even if I don't want to do it, I'm going to do it because at least I'm going to start the day my way.
Yeah.
Because this whole day was shit.
Yeah. It happens.
Right?
Happens.
Next thing is, and as my notes are great.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Where are mine?
It's phenomenal.
But it's organic.
Yeah, it's organic. It's organ.
I don't know if this loops in
commercial
about.
now.
I don't know if this loops. I don't know if this loops into what you're gonna say, but something that came to fruition again, like in the past couple of years, is like you are in. There's no rules, So like
Yep.
you got to make the process and the journey fun, right? Like
Correct.
everyone's like enjoy the journey. Yeah, but you also have to make the effort to enjoy
the journey.
right? Like you have to be like, all right, this week was crazy. Let's go to dinner.
That is
right.
That is
I
a
was
great
thinking
point.
about that.
Yes.
And we haven't been out to like a nice steakhouse or anything lately. So I'm mad at us for not doing something. We're enjoying it. Like I have fun every time we
Yep.
record. But when you do stuff like that, then you're like, oh, I want that again.
Let's
you know what I mean?
So let's set it up.
That's what I'm saying.
Done.
But we've been very like da.
Yep.
But that's a crucial part of what makes the journey fun. You have to make journey fun.
Correct. 'Cause
Like, if you're
it's
not-
and you have to find ways to do that.
Yeah, and it's easy not to because you get in the
It's
groove.
much easier.
It's
And
so
our
much easier not
brain,
to.
I don't think people understand, right? We are wired to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
So when adversity happens, it is a fact that your brain is going to tell you to tap out.
Yeah.
It happens to me all the time. Yeah. But if you acknowledge it and you're like, yo, this is what's supposed to happen, I'm going to do the opposite, stay uncomfortable, that's when the growth happens.
Yeah.
And what's good with the difference between like Ed Milet, right? Like Ed Milet is able to speak Gary V, Louis House,
Patrick Bet David.
Patrick
Big Patrick Bet David lately.
These guys are able to
Guy's great.
speak on this stuff because they've already done it and achieved it.
He's the guy who said it. Bet David.
Whereas the difference maker for us is we are living it to get to where we want to go.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas, like if you listen to Ed Milet and those guys, they're like, stop listening to these entrepreneurs. Andy Frisella says it all the time. I'm like, damn, he's talking to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's like,
a beast.
stop listening to people that have not done shit that are telling you what to do. But really, the reality is that yes, of course, I have not done things to that level, but I've gotten to where I'm at, right? Which is some level of tasting success at a decent age.
Yeah.
Because of the things that we discuss.
Absolutely.
Right, and
yeah.
we're putting things in place for you guys to really just follow along. If you choose to implement it in your own life, that's great.
Well, this is also a compliment to what we do. Like,
Correct.
our full-time gigs are careers that we're trying to pursue. So it's like we talk in theory,
Right.
but then we have to go execute.
Execute it anyway.
And the biggest ambassador of our brand is us.
Yes.
The more we're successful in our own lives as a team, Claudio, Justin, whenever you get that brand deal, the bigger No Snooze is, which I like when it works like that because you're incentivized to go out and be successful.
Correct.
But then you also have to like practice what you preach.
Correct.
Which,
Because if not, you're foo-gazy.
yeah, but PBD, the guy's a machine.
What is that? CBD
Patrick
oil?
Bet David.
Oh.
He's
So
you would
said
love
CBD.
him.
I know
Do you
him.
listen to
Yeah,
him?
yeah.
Why
No,
aren't you
no.
in that?
So I don't listen to him a lot, but I listen to his stuff.
His stuff is so fire.
Yes.
I put him
It is fire.
and his content, and he's like you. Like he's a little more structured than I would even gravitate to. But the stuff he says, I agree.
You can't.
with.
Well, you almost when he speaks, you almost have to be like, he's right.
Well, first off, his delivery, the way he speaks is so captivating. He's
Yes.
got like the kind of accent, but he's also very intense. He's
Yep.
very literal. He's the one who I started to look at when he talks about putting things in front of you that are fun, so you can celebrate as a team because you build that camaraderie, and it's just something to look forward to.
Right.
So those days where you're grinding, you have something that in the short term you still have to be patient for, but it's not so far out.
Correct.
That you get discouraged.
I love that. Next thing is, and this is something that's obvious, but like even we all do, right? You track your progress. If you don't do that, and you'd be amazed at how many things I've done in my life that I did not track progress to, where I look back and those are the failures.
Yeah.
Just ironically,
Yeah.
and it could be an ironic thing. It's not ironic because
Yeah.
it's not a coincidence, right? If you're not tracking any progress and you're not able, like today, that was haunting me. I needed to know where I'm at, even though I knew I wasn't making progress towards trending downward in the body fat stuff. I knew I need a realization to. No, prove to me that I'm going back up. I just need to know how bad is it, because if I need to dial it back to make sure I don't go too crazy, that's something that needs to happen.
I might need that machine in my house.
Buying a $5,000
Or just rent it. I'll be like, hey,
machine.
can I just rent
Can
this?
I just have this? It's just an accountability thing. But people are scared. We are all scared of accountability. We hate it. But when having a podcast is something that's even, I mean, it's a scary thing because you put things out there and it's like,
Damn.
are you doing it? Or are you not doing it? Like, are you able to accomplish this stuff or are you not?
Yeah. we were talking about weighing. Oh, the more time where you don't weigh in, the harder it gets to because you know that you're going to be starting farther back.
Yep.
So I got into the spin of that with certain things like weighing in. I used to love weighing in. And then when I knew I was way off, like way back when, it was hard to get on the scale. Whereas if you do it even like a day where it's not going to be great, but at least you do it, then there's no guessing. It's like, I'm this. And then you're more likely to snap back.
Yep.
Versus like, oh, you lie to yourself. You're your best. You're your biggest enemy, but you're your biggest advocate too.
Right. That is well said. The habit piece, right? At some point, you have to make, because again, habits are habits, but until you make them real systems in your life, they will always fall off, right? So you can go a 2-year stint, like CV was saying, and then you fall off because you didn't make it a system for whatever reason. Like I failed a whole bunch of things in my life because I wasn't able to turn the habits that I was doing that brought some level of success, turn it to a system.
And if you can make your timeline 10 years and you fell off for a year, it's
of course,
not
then
much,
it's not
right?
a big
So
deal,
it's
right?
like as far as you can extend it out,
Correct.
the better chance you have to be in your head.
Yeah,
to trick
but no.
yourself.
So I think you have done such a good job when I forced you to. I did force you to come up with a word for 21. Right,
Yeah.
mine was humility and yours was systems.
Yeah.
I think you've done such a good job at now creating systems in your life that work for the lifestyle that you're trying to live.
I'm trying to. It's constantly moving though, right?
But it's such a difference from where we were even a year ago when we recorded an episode and you told me I have a habit of doing push-ups. And my response to you, if you go listen back, I was like, is it really a habit though?
But that was a case where it was just something that didn't work. But if it did work with my schedule, which it didn't, I'd still be doing it.
But you get my,
So you know what I'm saying?
You get my point though?
Yes,
like,
yeah,
because
yeah.
to me, a habit is a strong word.
Yeah,
Like-
but I think certain habits, if they fit within my schedule, I can keep up, no problem. It just didn't fit. So
Right.
like a lot of this past, even starting No Snooze, I had to fit all this new stuff, and
Correct.
you did too. We all did. But it's now, like I've been talking, I have my pillars. I'm finally organized. The baby's sleeping somewhat. Like there's things that are starting to come to fruition. But you're always going to have new wrenches.
Right.
So it's like your habits, no matter how bulletproof they are, they're going to be tested at some point.
Yep,
So it's like
absolutely.
you got to be able to adjust. You got to be the palm tree in the wind.
The palm tree in the wind.
You got
I
to
like
keep
the
your
gas
roots
station
down.
guy.
The gas station
I
guy's
like-
too flimsy.
Yeah, I like
the
him.
palm tree like leans a little this way, leans a little that way. He's in the sun.
Good analogy.
But his roots stay in the ground.
That was good. Yo, you're spitting a lot of gold today.
It's just metaphors.
And the final thing, this is
Microforce.
on the Dave Regina 6-step process.
Yeah, how many
I guess.
steps? Jesus Christ.
It's just keep going.
Another thing.
Another thing.
Another one.
But it's just keep going, right? Like,
Yeah.
keep going if it's something that you want to do. If
Don't
something
quit.
you don't want to do, don't do it, right? But if it is something that you knew that you wanted and you can see the vision as to why it's beneficial for your life, just keep going. Because if you don't, your goals will never come to fruition.
Yeah.
You're so close, like that meme that CV was telling us about that he had put up in a couple episodes back, right? It looked like my man was digging for 40 years, and then he stopped. But you saw the other meme with the diamond on the other side.
Digging for 40
So at
years.
some point, he was going to reach that diamond,
Yeah.
but he didn't keep going,
Yeah.
right? And it sounds simple, but it's just like, no, implement these things and apply it to what you're doing, and you'll make progress.
Yeah. You have to have a lot of internal conversations.
Yeah.
Once you
Oh,
get
yeah.
clear, you got to get clear.
Yes, and be honest with yourself, right? Those internal
yeah,
conversations. Like you gotta, when you suck, tell yourself you suck.
Yeah.
And just tell yourself if you're too soft to get something done. Because the reality is that happens a lot.
Yeah.
But we have to stop giving ourselves false narratives. If you know you're not built for something, don't say you're built for it.
Yeah.
Right? Just say, well, how can I work on it to get better if it's something I want? But if you set this goal that's a stupid goal and you're not going to achieve it, stop lying to yourself.
You have to find the right environment too. You can't judge a fish by its ability to fly or something.
What?
Have you ever heard that
A
one?
flying fish analogy? You can't judge a fish by its
Ability
to
to
fly. There's only one fish that flies, isn't it?
Well,
It's a
that's
flying
flying
fish.
fish. I didn't say it right. Hold on. Let me look it up.
Is that your mantra? That is
It was gonna be.
atrocious. No, if you came with that as your mantra, Michael,
Wait. I have it.
that is so bad.
It's saying you got to find your environment. You can't judge people on stuff that they're not good at.
right.
You can't judge a fish
By its flying wings.
by its body fat.
You can't judge
Oh, here you
Chick-fil-A
go.
by the taco
every
at
this is
Bar
the,
Taco.
should I just rip it? Should I just rip it?
Go ahead.
everybody's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it would always look dumb.
That's worse.
That's amazing. Do you get what it's saying?
Yes, but it's
you
worse
get-
than the flying.
Like
thing.
if I said you
Yeah,
want to
'cause-
be a singer and you can't sing,
but that's what I always say. Like
I'm
when-
regurgitating.
No,
it.
but when people like again, when you two always tell me, "Oh
sweet.
yeah, get in a different lane." I don't want to get in a fucking different lane. Get off my back. all
yeah,
right?
you're a fish. You're in the water.
I'm a fish. I'm staying in the water.
I'm in the tree, I'm a
Swimming.
monkey.
I'm not going to take my ass out the water to go climb a tree.
So I got it wrong again.
Oh my God, bro! I'm done.
It's everybody's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. So that's the self.
Gotcha.
That was the right one.
Okay, that sounds good.
So
Yeah,
don't be a fish in a tree.
right, because you look stupid, and then you're gonna think you're stupid.
Yeah.
But really, you're not stupid. But if you were in the water and you kept swimming
Find the water.
where you're supposed to
Like
be,
Nemo, find the water.
boom,
I don't know what we're talking about.
done. This will bring us to my favorite section, Dave's Dime of the Week.
Dimes, dimes, dimes. That's big shoes to fill.
That is, yeah.
Big fins to fish.
Mine is trash compared to that.
Are you good?
Patience is not simply the ability to wait. It's how we behave while we're waiting,
Ooh.
right?
Dude, have you ever waited at a restaurant? It's the worst.
I hate waiting at Bar Taco.
It's the worst.
But I get
Why?
excited.
Why is that?
I actually get excited to wait at Bar Taco. No, I'm lying to you. I do. I get excited when it's coming, but I don't like waiting for the check. I like waiting for the food.
Oh.
I anticipate the
The
first bite.
nourishment.
yeah.
Okay, that was
know?
good. That was a good quote. Do it. Hit me with it again. Hit me with it again.
Patience is not simply the ability to wait. It's how we behave while we're waiting.
That was a good one. You outdid me again. You get good quotes.
Listen, I get good quotes. I get good recce's. I'm a good guy.
Yeah,
This is
you're
the
on
guy.
fire.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Maybe I'm a fish right now.
You don't even need to do anything.
I have mine. That's what I'm saying. What you
Oh,
want?
yes.
More? You want
No,
more
no,
gold?
no, no,
You
no,
want
no.
more gold?
No,
Huh?
no. That's good. Until next time, stop snoozing.
Get up and get after it.
That was.
Don't be a fish.
Don't be a water.
Don't be an airfish. That's another Epi in the books. Go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at No Snooze Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze. Come on.